Walk with me. Still waters run deep. Let's take a walk around the orchard. We'll take a look at things. We'll get the camera and we'll flip it. Stop looking at this beat up old man and start looking at the scenery. Let's explain some of the scenery. Here's my banana peels. These are the horseshoe pits. All I got to do is just come out, break those up with a sledgehammer, and then lay them along the edge there to stop a lot of the growth of the weeds, and then take those and put them in a center portion and then make extensions for platforms to throw at 27 feet and come out and weed eater the weeds, and we're okay. See, right along here, I cut back all the stuff with the Roundup, but when the orchard dries up, I got to cut in between those two trees right up to there and as far as up to there, all the way to the stuff in the back. I had most of it under control on the other side, in Mario's orchard and ours. But in Rogelio's, it's got a lot of growth, so I gotta go through. He doesn't feel it. He drinks alcohol, and it makes him pass out. Okay. And so when you're being poisoned and you're dying, if you drink alcohol, you're comfortably numb. And marijuana helps do that too. But marijuana doesn't kill the brain cells. Okay, so if you need marijuana because you were a violent person and we're no longer engaging in violent activities, well then you should definitely smoke marijuana. Okay, if you realize you have trouble controlling your anger, you should smoke Mary Jane. Okay, it's me and Bob Marley. Yeah. We've had talks before in the past, back in the 80s and stuff. Yeah, a long time ago. But we're cousins. We were connected in spirit. We've talked quite a bit. Here we put the solar lights up on here to light up the outside so you can see yourself coming in. We got to pick up all this wood and cut all that wood back, and then haul all those pieces of wood off to the backside so they're not out where the kids are. And these platforms right here will all get cleaned up. We'll put, I think, I'm not sure if I'll put the picnic table or put one here or there. I think I'm gonna put it here. We'll move all that wood pile right there back more so it doesn't encourage rats and stuff like that, so it's safer for the kids. I was feeling crappy working on the air conditioner and up there today. It's like, why do I feel so shitty? And I've been sleeping right next to all that chemical poisoning. It goes into the oxygen and then the plants react violently to it, and it causes it's hard to it causes respiratory issues in people, and then cancer cells start to reproduce because you feel like your body's saying you're dying, and so it's really hard. And let's look in here. I want to put up I'm going to make some scriptures, and we're going to put those up on cardboard and with glow-in-the-dark paint. I'll put them right there, and there. Scriptures, yeah, they're going to be my scriptures. My explanation of the Gospels, my communication of the Gospels. Not from James's book, not from Constantine's book, not from any of those. And then we're going to have stuff, hopefully I'll get a picture of Pistol Pete nailed, and we'll put it up on the wall. And then right here, there's where the lights are. There's where the ladies are with the flowers. And that's for Max's mom. Well, because I really like Max and Emmy, connected to them in prayer, and I appreciated the prayer, so I really like them. So I did that for Max and Emmy. Put that picture up, took it out of the closet. Like I explained to Patrick, you can't remain angry at people that were manipulated with you by people that are abusive through dread and trespass because they're addicted to it. They use your addiction, okay, to keep you involved in their addiction, and it's very hard to get out of it, and I'm very understanding of that. This lady, she yells at me about you got to eat this way, you got to exercise this way and stuff. They're still gonna, but it'd be easier to get through it. And I'm like, yeah, and clean up the Roundup and all. It's just I have to put on sweats, a long sleeve shirt, a COVID mask, and gloves, and I'll go and I'll cut all that back once it dries up, and I'll cut all that back once it dries up, all the way. I do it all. Okay. when you go through it, it's like, no, I will cut. But before it was inside the trees. This time it's in the middle portion. So, but I'll get the weed eater, and I got 2 batteries and 4 things of line, and not a lot of the things gonna, there's not heavy weeds in that, it's mostly grass. So I'll cut all that stuff back, and then the water will kind of be able to more easily saturate and evaporate the poison. It's hard to do inside in between the trees, but we'll get it, and it'll kind of clear out a little bit after harvest. And then, hopefully, you know, by that time we'll have had tangible rather than probable. Probable has to happen. We'll do that. We'll make sure it happens. All right, because it needs to. That's all there is to it. If tangible doesn't happen, probable is going to. It has to. You know? It's something you can only go so far, and then your body can't recover, and your body will have to die. Okay, and I'm not required to. I'm not afraid of dying to save the poor people and the people like Amy that they think are too stupid and not good enough to solve their problems and figure what they do is they look at people and they judge them by their perception of IQ and stuff like that. And people that are problem solvers deserve to live in the great new world. And people that can't solve problems, the heck is that? People that can't solve problems are just like when Watkins told me about that, what do you call them, the worker bees? They just feed their face and take up space, and they're not being worthy of their gift of life because they're not intelligent enough to sustain it. It's like, but you're engaging wrong. You give people forgiveness of debt and trespass, love, one, eternal, faithful peace. What happens with most people, if they're not good enough to compete, they shut down psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. They get more excited about fantasy football and DraftKings. And as master as wheelwright and as our team, you think our ball club won the pennant? Do you think they have a chance? And tell me, baby, how in the world have you been? You know, what's happening, brother? I want to know what's in. So you just got to understand, it's hard for everyday people. I was the most efficient at being able to compete and dominate their competitions and their games in just about every aspect tangible. All right. And I refused to participate because it's fundamentally wrong. And when they took me to Sierra Vista, they thought because the people that were not talented enough to compete used me as their, help us. I was a charismatic cult leader, that I had developed mental and emotional problems like the people that I protect from them. So they always kept saying I was Asperger's or savant. It's like, fuck. 20 minutes to Wapner. I'm an excellent driver. I'm an excellent driver. You can ask Val that day in the... Jeff Girl saw it too. He was sitting there. The guy did a right-hand turn in front of us in that 65 Val's old Barracuda. Val was sitting next to me, and we were going to have a head-on collision. And so I looked on the fly. I said, okay, there's no one coming the other direction. It wasn't during rush hour traffic. And there was an island, of course, of concrete there, which would cause an accident and hurt us too. So I just looked to the side, saw it was wide open, hit the gas, went down the opposite lane like they do in the movies. I punched it, got through the intersection. And then the guy who was coming up with Jeff Gerolds in his yellow 65 Mustang, he looked at me and he saw me get back into the suicide line and get back over, and he's like, whoa, he saw the whole thing happen. He told me yesterday, wow, wow, Mario Andretti, wow, Richard Petty, Val was sitting there, Erpy, oh my gosh, you just saved both our lives. And I was like, and then of course the natural reaction is, Jesus took the wheel, okay? And Jesus is like, heal thyself, I can't drive for you. I give you the truth. I give you faith. It's up to you to live faithfully. My sons be on your right-hand side in the kingdom of heaven. I can't tell you that, lady. You're going to have to look and say, okay, what's going on? This fucker's making a left-hand turn right in front of me in the intersection. And you're in a 65 Plymouth Barracuda, which is all metal and has belts across the seat. The one who we both been in big trouble. We both probably would have died in a head-on collision in that old car. in that big old station wagon that was pulling in front of us. So, you know, I didn't want me and my sister still had to have Mallory, Tori, and Aiden. I still had to have Patrick, and then love Amy's kids because they're cute. Oh my gosh, they're adorable. I don't know, you know, we'll see. I don't care to take any paternity tests or anything like that to see who's the biological father of any of Amy's children. I don't righteously give a shit. You know, what happens in the womb and in the bedroom is between the people engaged in sex, and that's it. You know, I don't work for NASA, DARPA, the NSA, or the FBI, or the fuck you in the head why. And so I don't care to know, you know. When a child comes into my house, and I'm there to care for them, that's my child, and I love them. You know, like I told Pancha about Kate. She goes, well, you know she's lying and that's not your kid. It's like, yeah, she is. She's my truth. Kate's my truth. You know, I told Amy of all the horrible things that were going on with you being sexually predicated on that by that Navy SEAL at NSI, old Nate Reynolds. You know, I could have killed people, gone to jail, had her raise the kids, the state, because I went in there and got mad. Just all kinds of stuff. And we could have got sexually transmitted diseases, all kinds of horrible things. But instead we got snug the bug. Doon 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 doon. More love and more joy than age or time could ever destroy. Right? Okay, guys. Well, I love you. You don't lie to people and deny them a truthful existence to make the narrative into a Disney, or taking your kids to the world to Disney, because every year you take your kids to Disneyland because you can afford it, because you're not living the Lord's Prayer, you're scrapping for your fuck money. All right? Don't you ever tell me how to talk, how to say things, and how to make things right. I tell you, you're a bitch lying down for your money, taking the dick. I'm a man getting you to stop so the children don't have to get fucked and have to have fuck money to get into Disneyland and watch fireworks. Love you. All right, peace.